Hello and welcome to this very special new thing. This is a visual novel called Love at First Sight. Now the reason I'm making this recording is that I've discovered that my editing software, Wondershare Filmora, has the ability to record from my screen, a service that I've otherwise been missing and talked about wanting for some time. So this gives me the option to record visual novels, a thing that I have been very much interested in, as one of my great interests is to voice act. And what better way to really get sort of your voice going when you have a narrative game, or in this case a visual novel, in front of you and the ability to record it. So, enough about the whole why this series is starting up now. Why chose Love at First Sight? Well, the main reason is that it is a relatively short visual novel. Some visual novels that I have clocked more than 20 hours in without finishing them, and this one is definitely not such a case. It's short, it's pretty sweet, and it's pretty safe. There is some light-hearted romance, as indicated by the title, but there is nothing pornographic or anything like that. It should also be stated that all of the visual novels I'm playing off of Steam. That means that if there is anything that I'd need to edit, such as genitalia or such, I would have to edit that out. That's not a problem, but chances of those kind of visual novels getting in and becoming a series is less than those without it. Mostly because those kind of visual novels don't really interest me. I care for visual novels because I care for storytelling. And if a visual novel strikes me with its storytelling, then I'm likely to pick it up. But enough of that, let's go in and take a look at the options here. So I have it windowed currently in order to be able to record it properly. And let's see, skip, scene messages, all messages, transition. We can get it in Japanese, but I don't know anything about Japanese. That's also a thing. As with visual novels, most visual novels, the characters have Japanese names, and sometimes locations are also in Japanese as well. Well, in Latin letters, of course. Arabic letters. But I don't speak Japanese, so if I butcher the pronunciation of someone or something, don't be surprised. Because, well, as never having had Japanese as a class or anything before, it's going to be how I think I pronounce it. If I get it right, then that's good. If I don't, well, I don't. I'm not really able to do much about that. Right, I think that's all the options done, so let's get this started. Now, I happen to know that this game is run in chapters or acts, which makes it easier for me to edit and decide the length of these, as each act is hopefully long enough to fit an episode. So, without further ado, let's start this baby up. Ooh. Act 1, Catch My Eyes. And it's early in the morning. This is the path I always take to get to school. I normally have to hurry, but today I'm taking it easy. I had a little extra time to get out of the house, which is kind of unusual. I'm feeling good under the warm morning sunshine and cool morning breeze as I head to school. Very modern kind of school building. I'm not in a hurry, but it still doesn't take long to get to school. My house isn't right next to the school, but it isn't that far away either. Even if I don't leave as early as I did today, I never have to run to get to school on time or anything. That's what I'm thinking as I change into my school slippers. I absent-mindedly climb the stairs, heading to my classroom on the second floor, class 2-2. I put my hand on the door to open it, and then... judging from how she looks, I'm guessing this is the obnoxious kind of friend that has way too much energy. We all know that Cap was a person like that. If not all the time, then at least part of the time. So her name is Akemi, I think. Again, pronunciation, not my strongest side with Japanese. Okay, so she seems energetic, loud and obnoxious. Going from how she suddenly, when you open the door, that's the kind of person. Oh, Marken, good morning. You're here earlier than usual. How unlike you. Her loud, ear-splitting voice shakes me out of my morning daze. So, our name is Mamoru. Good morning, Akemi. I see you're getting a head start on being loud and obnoxious today. There's nothing wrong with being energetic. This overly spirited person is Tsunemi Akemi. She's always like this, the kind of person who's always going full throttle from the moment she wakes up until the moment she falls asleep. You're not energetic, you're out of control, but I guess that's what I should be expecting by now. Morning, Tomo. You know her better than I do, right? Does she have a volume knob? Okay. He looks completely the opposite, like sleepy or drowsy in some sort of way. Right, that's probably a fairly easy voice to make then. Morning. I've known Akemi for a long time, and I can say for sure that no, she doesn't. This is Uchiai Tomoyori. He's a zombie in contrast to Akemi's liveliness. But, like Akemi, his energy level is constant. He's lifeless all day, every day. Yeah, I've only known her for a little while, but I'm starting to realize that. You'll get used to it. So he's kind of like an Eeyore type of person. Markun, lately you started treating me as bad as Tomo-kun. Is this really how you should be treating someone you've only known for 2 months? Considering how annoying you are, do you really expect me to treat you any differently? Yeah, I've only known these two for about 2 months, though I've gotten pretty close to them in that time. I'm Fukunaga Mamoru. 2 months ago, I had to switch high schools because of my parents' work. Fall's almost over. I transferred in the middle of the season, and because of that, I was a bit of an oddity among the other students. I was really nervous at first, but luckily these two came along, and we became friends. That's mean! Tomo-kun, say something! Well, it seems you two are getting close. Yeah, thanks to you. Hey, don't ignore me! I can say for sure that Tomo is the real reason I'm comfortable here now. He doesn't take care of his appearance, and he's not the warmest person you'll ever meet, but he's pretty smart, and ultimately he's a good guy. I learned how dependable he is pretty quickly. Okay, ignoring me is now forbidden, you hear me? We might be ignoring her, but I guess I owe Akemi as well. The fact that she's so annoyingly loud is her only real flaw. I don't know anyone more inspiring than her. Lately, Akemi's been trying to get me to hang out with her and Tomo all the time. The two seems to balance each other out, though. It's not a perfect balance by any means. From what I hear, they've been friends since they were kids, though Tomo once told me she basically just been following me around this whole time. The bell rings. It's already time for homeroom. What's first period today? Math. Our homework is due today. You did do it, right? Yeah, yesterday I finished with time to spare for a change. I was actually able to go to bed early because of that. I said ignoring me was forbidden! Hey! That might need to be toned down in the video afterwards. Have that bell again. The morning lessons end and lunchtime begins. Lunchtime! Time to eat! We move from our classroom to one farther down the hall. We're the only ones in here, and Akimi's thundering voice echoes in the empty classroom. The three of us have been coming up to this empty classroom for lunch since I transferred to this school. On the menu for today is Salisbury steak. Awesome! What are you, a kid? Come on, can you at least lower the volume during lunch? Tomo, help me out here. After a moment, Tomo replies, "What do you want me to do?" Then he sighs and snatches Akimi's chopstick from her. Hey! Then, as Akemi opens her mouth to protest, Tomo stuffs a piece of Salisbury steak into her mouth. She seemed to have forgotten anything she wanted to say when the food entered her mouth and she quietly chews it. Her mood improves a moment later and her expression dissolves into bliss as she chews. She really is an airhead. I'm not her keeper, you know. Could have fooled me. Who else could hold back at that freight train of a girl? You think I can hold back a freight train? Okay, maybe not. Exactly! Akemi cries, spewing food everywhere. Then, realizing what she just did, she hastily closes her mouth and swallows. I'm the #1 most cheerfulest girl in town, Tsunemi Akemi-chan. And with that, she goes back to eating her lunch. I guess she can't stay quiet for long, no matter what she's doing. The most cheerfulest girl in town? I don't think you have any competition for that title. No kidding. She's one of our school celebrities. Tomo starts on his own lunch. Seriously? One off? You mean there's more? Yeah, our high school has a lot of unusual students. There are a lot of rumors floating around concerning our school, it seems. Wow, what other kinds of celebrities are there? You don't know about any of them? Well, first there's... Tomo takes a quick glance at Akemi, but she seems lost in her own food-induced paradise. She is not even listening to us anymore. Well, there's a lot of them. If you really want to know, I'll tell you later. He doesn't want to talk about this in front of Akemi. I guess it is a pretty touchy subject, but I'll make it a point to ask about it later. All done! You eat... Sorry, wrong voice. You eat way too fast. Crap, I barely touched any of my own food while we were chatting. I should have started on my lunch while she had her mouth closed. I'm not going to get another chance now. Hey, what were you two talking about? I was recounting the epic saga of how you won your fame. He seemed to be really interested in it, so I wanted him to hear it from the source. Wait, what? Really? Sure thing, Makun. Do you want to hear about when I first saved the town for the first time with my fantastic powers? I haven't met Tomo-kun yet, and... No, I really don't want to hear about that. Come on, Tomo. A minute ago you told me to take care of her, and now I'm telling you to do it. I haven't even touched my food yet, so you be her friend for a bit. And without a second glance, he starts eating his lunch in silence. Makun, are you listening? So anyway, my mom had gone out shopping and... No, you are the one who needs to listen. Man, how did I get roped into this? And so, for the rest of lunchtime, I got stuck listening to her story while I finished my lunch and gave her the occasional nod. School ends. Huh? Makun? Where's Tomo-kun? Akemi calls out to me as I'm packing my stuff. She rushed out of the classroom right when class ended, and it seems she came back just as quickly. He said he had some things to take care of back at his place and left a little early. What's up? Oh, really? Well, can you take this to the third year classrooms for me? I promise to return this before the end of the day, but I got a club meeting so I gotta go to, so... She hands me a small paper bag. It feels like it's got a book or something inside it. I sigh. Fine, I'll do it. Thanks a bunch. Give it to a student in class 3-2 named Yae Katashi. I'm counting on you. No sooner does she say that than she disappears once again. She just can't sit still, can she? I suppose I'd better get going too. No telling how long this Yae person is going to be there for. I finish packing up and head to the classrooms on the 3rd floor. I arrive at the 3rd year student's classroom with a Kimi's package and look for the person I'm supposed to deliver it to. But some of the other student tells me she stepped out for a bit. They say she'll be back soon and that I can just wait for her there, but 10 minutes pass and she's still nowhere to be found. Maybe I should have one of the other people give it to her and just go home. School's over and most of the students have been at their club activities for a while now. While I'm waiting in the 3rd year classroom, the other students file out and the school grounds slowly become devoid of life. The noise of daytime activity has all but disappeared. I feel like I'm in detention. I want to go home already. Giving up, I leave the classroom and turn towards the stairwell. My classroom is on the 2nd floor, so I usually don't spend any time up here. The layouts of the 2 floors are pretty much identical, but somehow I feel like this is some alternate dimension. And just as I'm about to descend the stairs, I start to hear what I think are sobs coming from nearby. Huh? I figured I was alone and had relaxed because of that, but the sudden sobbing catches me off guard and I freeze. I hold my breath and strain my ears. It's not my imagination. Someone nearby is crying softly. Hearing someone crying in an empty school building sounds like the beginning of a horror story. What am I saying? This isn't a horror story. School might be over, but the sun hasn't even gone down yet. Finding some else in... Yeah, well, that should probably be someone else in the building. Finding someone else in the building isn't that strange. Well, I say that, but this situation isn't exactly normal either. The sobbing continues. It sounds like it's coming from the next floor up. It's quiet, but it reverberates off the narrow stairwell's walls. It's definitely coming from the floor above me, though I didn't realize it until now. But this building only has 3 floors. The only thing above me is a roof, right? School is over. The door to the roof should be locked by now, but I can still hear the crying, so there's no way it could be coming from there. But if the door is locked, that means the way up is just a dead end. I can't just walk up there to check and claim that I just happened to walk by. But before I can think it through, my curiosity has me turning around and heading back up the stairs. I climb step by step up the stairs as quietly as I can, though I can't help but make a little noise. As I get closer to the source of the sobbing, I begin to hear it more clearly. There is just one voice, and judging by the sound of it, it's a girl's. It feels like I'm climbing up 10 stories, but it only takes a few seconds and suddenly I'm almost on the landing. I take the last step and turn towards the source of the crying. In front of me is a girl wearing a school uniform. She is lying against the door to the roof, sobbing. The girl hears me walking toward her and she starts shivering as she turns her head towards me. Nothing up to this point had been too out of the ordinary. At least until I saw her face. I don't know how to make that sound. Or that. The girl stares at me with her single eye, her face sopping wet from crying. And I don't mean that she was missing an eye. She literally had one giant eye in the middle of her face. And no nose apparently, but this is anime, so... Suddenly, she registers that I'm standing in front of her, and she jumps, drawing her limbs into her body. A bit of light reflects off the unwiped tears near her wide open eye. I can tell by the way she's looking at me that she's terrified. She's not the only one, though. Without really understanding what I'm looking at, I stare at her, unmoving, and she does the same. She's wearing our school's uniform, but is she really a student here? No matter how many times I blink, a second eye doesn't suddenly grow on her face, and I finally realize that what I'm seeing is reality. Faced with this girl who looks like she belongs to a fairy tale, I begin to panic. Strangely enough, though I'm able to keep my fright from showing. This situation is so unreal, I guess my brain just refuses to fully acknowledge it. I heard crying and came to see what was going on. Are you alright? The longer the silence drags on, the harder it becomes to break it. I try to come up with something, anything, to say to force myself out of this stupor, but my mind is completely blank. At this point, anything is better than silence. It seems my mind is just as blank as mine. I work my mouth soundlessly a few times before finally spewing out the first thing that comes to my mind. Do you need something to wipe your face? Her uniform is black, so I can't tell if it's wet from her crying into it. She doesn't have a handkerchief or anything, though. I produce my own handkerchief from my pocket and move to offer it to her. I approach the girl sitting at the top of the stairs to give her the handkerchief, and once again she starts shivering in fear. She's looking at me like I'm some kind of monster. Am I really that scary? Isn't she the monster here? Thank you. I hold the handkerchief out stiffly for several seconds, then cautiously, oh so cautiously, she takes the handkerchief and wipes her face. Those are the first words she's spoken so far, but her trembling voice is so quiet that I almost don't hear her. I only transferred to this school about 2 months ago. I don't think I've seen you around. This is definitely the first time we've met, of course. I'm sure that if I had seen her before, her face would have been burned into my mind. There's no way I could forget what I'm seeing right now. Should I ask her to give my handkerchief back? It's obvious from the way she's looking at me that she's still confused and afraid. We're not going to get anywhere at this rate. We must be in different classes since I haven't seen you around before. What grade and class are you in? I'm in class 2-2. Class 1-2. She actually gave me a proper response this time. She really is a student here, I guess. Not a monster or anything. Suddenly it hits me that I have been sharing the same school, and hell, the same world with this person all this time. Oh, 1 year lower then? Yeah. The conversation grinds to a halt again. I can't think of anything else to say. Actually, that's not true. I have a mountain of things I want to ask her. But all of it has to do with her appearance, and I'm hesitant to bring that up. Time passes as I hurriedly try to think of something to say to fill the silence. What can I say? My mind is totally blank. Every heartbeat seems louder than the last, and the panic that I thought I had subsided wells up inside my mind again. I don't think I can keep this up. Right, I have to get going. The girl looks like she wants to say more, but without another word, I turn and flee down the stairs. I head to the shoe rack, change my shoes, and start rushing home. I walk on for a few more seconds after clearing the campus gates. Then I pause for a moment and take a deep breath. Jeez. It seems that girl didn't follow me, or even call after me. She is probably still sitting at the top of the steps in that desolate stairway. A cool wind is blowing as I walk home and gradually regain my composure. My heart is still racing though. I think I'm going to feel uneasy about what just happened for a long time. I was really surprised. Maybe I don't fully understand what I saw. I'll have to think about it some more. Was it fear? Was I afraid of her? No. There's nothing scary about some girl, even if she... Honestly, I can't shake the thought that she might be some kind of monster, but she must be a human high school student, right? I was definitely scared out of my wits at first, but I think if she wanted to hurt me, she would have done it already. In fact, she's beyond harmless. She's as timid as a mouse. But if that's the case, why do I still feel uneasy? Is my mind just unable to accept that she only has one eye? No, that's not it. It's not like I was avoiding staring at her or anything. Actually, I don't think I could have looked away even if I had wanted to. Whatever, it's not worth dwelling on. The fact that I'm not disgusted by her after all, all this means that it was just pure surprise, right? Yeah, I think that's a reasonable conclusion. At any rate, I think it's safe to say that anyone who saw her face wouldn't forget it anytime soon. As I'm thinking this over, I finally arrive at a familiar entryway to my house. I was so absorbed in my thoughts, I guess I was just on autopilot all the way home. I'm home. Oh, welcome. Welcome home. You're a little late, aren't you? What were you doing? I don't know if that's a fitting voice for a mom, but that's the voice I'm going with, so... Akemi roped me into being her errand boy. She wanted me to deliver something for him. Later that night, I let out a deep sigh as I'm lying in my futon, unable to sleep. For some reason, I couldn't tell my mom about the one-eyed girl. Could the fact be that she probably wouldn't be able to comprehend or even think that you're telling the truth? I don't know. It wasn't like a traumatic event or anything, but I almost feel guilty. At any rate, I can't stop thinking about her face. I know that if I don't fall asleep soon, I'm going to have to rush to school tomorrow. I try to forget about everything that happened today, but I just can't keep my eyes closed. She looked like she wanted to say something back there, but I panicked and ran away. I kind of regret not staying now. I roll over in my futon several times, but eventually I come to a decision. I'm going to try and find that girl again. I feel like I should at least learn her name. Oh, it's animated. Act 2. Have an eye for. So, let me just make a save file here. So, that's the end of the first visual novel episodes of hopefully a lot more to come over the summer holiday. I definitely plan to keep on going with this, seeing as the screen recorder seems fairly easy to use, and well, I'm familiar with how to edit using Filmora, so that makes it easy in the long run. Until next time, it should be said that if you have suggestions for visual novels that I might enjoy, and well, if you're enjoying them, there's a chance that I would as well. Obviously, I am looking for pretty vanilla stuff. Romance is fine, but I'm not particularly into gore and such kind of things. If you have suggestions, please let me know. You can contact me on both Facebook, YouTube, and well, Twitter as well if you want to. But until next time, take care.